There are lots of people praying for a Joe Biden victory in November. Champagne socialist Hollywood celebrities, a sizable portion of the US media, and most notably, King Charles's youngest son, Prince Harry. Why? Well, because if the establishment nemesis Donald Trump prevails in November, Prince Harry could be thrown out of the country. The Sussex's business model, which is to make their lives a commodity, to sell their privacy to the highest bidder and to make oversharing an industry, is coming back to bite them on the royal bottom. There was the outrageous Oprah Winfrey interview in which they effectively accused Harry's family of racism. There was the podcast in which Harry criticised his father's parenting skills. And even the peerless Princess Catherine has been characterised as a less-than-perfect sister-in-law by sources close to the Sussexes. And most egregiously, there was that rotten book Spare. 300 pages of self-indulgence, self-aggrandisement and self-pity. In the book, Queen Camilla was described figuratively as dangerous and a villain. The details of a fight between Harry and his brother William, which should have stayed in those four walls, became a global story. Harry risked the safety of former military colleagues and his own family by boasting that he killed several Taliban fighters. The book may have been called Spare, but could easily have been called TMI. Too much information, as every detail of his life, every innermost thought, every private conversation was handed to the publishers in exchange for a bag of gold.
It was like that. Like, I curtsied as though I was like... Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Like, was that okay?
Do you remember that debacle? Harry has made millions from shows like that. That, of course, was the Netflix series in which Meghan Markle mocked Queen Elizabeth. This guy's made a fortune from chat show appearances, podcasts, and that best-selling book. But it has come at a huge price. Once the most popular royal in the country, he's now jostling with his Uncle Andrew at the bottom of the Windsor League table. He has saddened his father, enraged his brother, and doubtless gave his late grandmother sleepless nights as she wondered what might be in that book and whether it would damage the family and the monarchy to which she devoted her life. It's a hell of a thing to sell your family down the river, your blood relatives. They're bloody angry, and who could blame them? In his latest insult to King Charles, Harry appears to have deliberately set the date at which he became a US resident as the same day he was turfed out of Frogmore Cottage. And with his status as an American resident now confirmed, his divorce from his country of birth is complete. So, the charming prince and the beautiful princess, Harry and Meghan, live happily ever after in their 16-bedroom ivory tower in Montecito, California. Or do they? Because it is one of the less controversial revelations in the book Spare that could ultimately do for the young prince. In full oversharing mode, perhaps keen to give his publishers some bang for their buck, he needlessly revealed his significant drug use. But were such revelations of drug use given when he applied for a visa to live in the United States? Being someone who has used drugs in the past is enough to see a US visa application swiftly cancelled. So, annoying and upsetting his family and his country of birth could be the least of Harry's worries. Donald Trump has said that if he wins the White House in November, Prince Harry is on his own and won't get any help. On Trump's watch, Prince Harry could see his visa revoked, which would likely see him return to the United Kingdom with his tail between his legs, which is why the outcome of the US elections is critical for the prodigal prince. This quote from my pal Tony Parsons, writing in his excellent column in today's Sun on Sunday, puts it brilliantly. Tony Parsons writes, "A Joe Biden advisor asserted that under no circumstances would his administration ever deport the prince, no matter what fibs or omissions may have been on that visa application." He goes on to write, "Trump makes no such promise, so Harry must hope it is Sleepy Joe and not Demented Don, who wins in November? Oh, too right. Donald Trump has made it a key election pledge to tackle the illegal border crossings in America. Well, if he wins later this year, he might be sending one particularly well-heeled and famous migrant back to his country of origin.